going through the probate process, is it going to take forever, or is there some way to speed it up? When you're applying for probate for someone who's passed away, so they had a will, or even if they didn't have a will and there's a letter of administration for an intestacy, then there's a process you have to go through to get rid of the assets because you have to distribute them to the beneficiaries. Sometimes the probate process can be very, very fast. In the last couple of years, the provincial government has really worked hard to put an electronic system together that allows probate to get through in sometimes a couple weeks, 3 weeks. It's nice and easy. But not all situations work for that expedited electronic process. Sometimes you have to go through the old-fashioned way, which can take 3, 4, 5, 6 months, which is a problem if there's a particular asset that you've got to liquidate sooner than later. So we'll go through the process right from the beginning. What is probate? Probate is where the court looks at all the paperwork, a will, who the beneficiaries are, the debts, the assets of the person who passed away, and they say, this is the person who can deal with the assets. This is the person who can sign off on things. This is who gets the benefit of the estate. This is debts. It just sets out everything that's going to happen, but most important for us is the who. Next, we have that limited grant to probate, and those situations are for when you have something that has to get this liquidated sooner, as I said. What it means is that the court is going to go through and just do a limited probate process. So, for instance, a house. A house takes a lot of money. You've got to pay mortgage, you've got to pay taxes, you've got to pay insurance, you've got to make sure there's someone in there every couple of days. It can be expensive, it can be a hardship, and if you're looking at 3 or 4 months for probate, that's a lot of work. The court recognizes this and wanted to put in a process that helps people be able to deal with those situations. So with the limited grant to probate, you're essentially saying to the court, hey, just let us sell this asset and say who has the ability to sell that asset. And then when the court says yes, the property's sold and the funds will sit in a bank account or a lawyer trust account until such time as the rest of probate is done. So the limited grant to probate is just limited as to a specific asset. The funds aren't distributed, they just sit as part of the regular process. Now it does add a little time and cost, but not significant in terms of the overall picture. So it's not something that you would want to avoid. It will be way less expensive than maintaining an asset for a long piece of time. So that's important. What types of assets do we look at? Their principal residence, land, if there is a business of some kind that needs to be liquidated, sometimes shares that have to be sold where the market might be decreasing in value, where waiting 3 or 4 months can cost the estate thousands of dollars. Talk to your estate lawyer. It shouldn't cost you anything to have the conversation about how to expedite things and make a limited grant to probate process go through so you can go through the probate process faster, because everybody knows it's important for you to get this done and everyone's going to work with you to be able to do that. If you have questions, reach out, but as the executor, you want to make sure you're following the process as best you can so you don't have problems with yourself, your family, or any of the beneficiaries.